Police told Kim Zolciak to stop calling, isn't an emergency. Police have told Rho Alam, Kim Zolciak to stop calling because, at this point, it is not an emergency. The mother of 6 is embroiled in a divorce with her husband of over a decade, Kroy Bierman. Yet, things have been so dramatic that the cops are always being called. So, why did the authorities tell Kim to calm down on the calls? Keep reading for more details. Police to Kim Zolciak, stop calling. For a decade, Kim Zolciak and Kroy Bierman were an extremely happy couple. He had adopted her 2 older daughters, Brielle and Ariana, from her previous relationships. They then went on to have 4 children of their own and had the perfect little family. Unfortunately, Kim loved to gamble and shop, leading to financial distress. In 2022, their lavish Georgia mansion faced foreclosure, but they dodged it until early 2023. Then, it all resurfaced and they faced an auction. Once again, they were able to get out of that, but a short time later, they filed for divorce. Allegations were thrown at one another, and though they tried to reconcile, that did not last. The police were soon called to their home, becoming a repeated event. She alleged he would not let her leave their driveway while he was at the end of his rope. They were locking themselves into bedrooms, and their poor minor children were the casualties. Just before Thanksgiving, the police were called yet again. Since their home is headed to auction, they were packing and taking down the curtains. Kim Zolciak claimed Kroy Bierman was the aggressor, but he alleged she struck him. Their children could not necessarily corroborate Kim's story, but the police want Kim to stop. A Reddit thread was started to share how they had to let Kim know they could not keep coming to Kim's home simply because of divorce spats. Followers felt awful for the children, but moreover, could not believe this was still happening. Will it end? The big question that followers want to know is whether will it ever end for Kim Zolciak and Kroy Bierman. This has been going on for nearly 2 years with no end in sight. I can't believe this is still ongoing. I think there is some weird-ass codependency and trauma bonding with them at this point. Any relationship she has ever been in or will ever be in, will end this way. She is a terrible person. It took Kroy a very, very long time to figure it out. The level of selfishness exhibited by these two, who have like 6 children, is despicable. Quit calling the police over this petty crap. Grow up and act like adults. Hopefully, some resolution is reached so that they all can find peace and the children stop getting dragged into the drama. Kim Zolciak Bierman's larger-than-life personality always guaranteed her a spotlight, but this time, it seemed the limelight wasn't as flattering. A report had surfaced, detailing how local law enforcement in Alpharetta, Georgia, had to urge the reality star to stop calling 911. The story was baffling, and the speculation it triggered was even juicier than her infamous, "Tardy for the Party" anthem. Chapter 1, The Call That Started It All. It was a quiet Thursday evening when the first call came through. Officer Jenkins of the Alpharetta Police Department recognized the voice immediately. Officer Jenkins, Kim's voice was unmistakably distressed. "You have to come. There's someone in my backyard. I think they're trying to get into my wine cellar." Despite the urgency in her tone, the officer couldn't help but wonder. Kim's sprawling estate was known to be equipped with a state-of-the-art security system, something she proudly flaunted on Don't Be Tardy. He assured her a patrol car would swing by. When officers arrived, they found nothing amiss. Not a broken twig, not a single footprint in the freshly manicured grass. Kim greeted them at the door in full glam, her signature blonde waves perfectly coiffed, holding a glass of white wine. "They must have run off," she insisted. "But you saw how the gate looked crooked, right? It wasn't like that earlier." The officers exchanged glances but documented the interaction as required. Chapter 2, A Pattern Emerges. By the third call that week, Jenkins had grown weary. 911, what's your emergency? It's me, Kim again, she exclaimed, as if she were calling an old friend. The pool lights flickered, and I just know it's someone messing with my property. The dispatcher sighed audibly. Kim, despite her fame, was starting to cross into nuisance territory. This time, when officers arrived, they found not intruders but a malfunctioning pool circuit breaker. "Ma'am," Jenkins began as delicately as possible, "these calls are for emergencies only. If you notice something out of place but aren't in immediate danger, you can call a non-emergency line." Kim gasped, clutching her chest as if Jenkins had personally insulted her. "Are you saying my safety isn't important? I'm a mother of 6. A public figure." "We understand, ma'am," Jenkins replied evenly. "But please reserve 911 for immediate threats." Chapter 3, The Tipping Point. Over the next 2 weeks, calls continued to trickle in. There was the suspicious Amazon delivery truck, he parked for too long, the mystery of the missing designer's sandal, it could have been a stalker, and an incident where a bird collided with her glass balcony door, that had to be a message. The department decided it was time for a formal warning. They sent a sergeant to Kim's home, armed with a polite but firm message. "Miss Zolciak Bierman," he began, standing stoically in her lavish foyer, "we've noticed a pattern of calls that don't qualify as emergencies. While we take every citizen's safety seriously, we need to ensure our resources are available for genuine crises." Kim, dressed in head-to-toe Gucci, crossed her arms. "You think I'm wasting your time?" she asked, her voice dripping with indignation. "Do you have any idea what it's like to live with a target on your back?" The sergeant held his ground. "With all due respect, ma'am, this is not about fame. This is about protocol." Kim huffed but agreed to reconsider her future calls. Chapter 4, Public Backlash. News of Kim's overuse of emergency services leaked, and the internet was ruthless. Memes flooded social media. One showed Kim dramatically dialing 911 with the caption, "My wig is slightly crooked, send help immediately." Podcasts and gossip blogs dissected the story. Was Kim genuinely afraid, or is this just another ploy for attention? One host speculated. "She's been off Bravo's radar for a while, maybe this is her way of getting back in the headlines." Even her former Real Housewives of Atlanta co-stars chimed in. Nene Leakes tweeted, "Some PPL just love drama. Keep it on the screen, sis, not the police scanner." Sherry Whitfield added fuel to the fire with a cryptic post, "Emergency. Sounds like someone needs to get their house in order, pun intended." Chapter 5, The Bierman Family's Take. Inside the Zolciak Bierman household, chaos reigned. Croy, her estranged yet still cohabiting husband, was livid. "Kim, do you have any idea what this looks like? We're already dealing with enough public scrutiny." Kim waved him off. "They're making a big deal out of nothing. I was just being proactive."